Last time on Sequence Break, we started Resident Evil 3 Nemesis with every key item in the game just to see how much of the story we could skip. Surprisingly, we were able to bypass huge portions of the game, but two sections refused to break. We still had to pick up the lockpick from the RPD, and Carlos still had to create the vaccine at the hospital for the game to progress. After reading through all your comments, though, I realized we weren't finished. Many of you had ideas for new experiments that could push the game even further. Can Carlos use key items that were never meant for him? Can we skip the vaccine entirely? Can we bypass the lockpick requirement? Or are those progression flags completely hard-coded? Today, we're putting your theories to the test. Welcome back to Sequence Break. I'm Starfish. Let's dive in. Alright, so first I wanted to quickly show you the debug menu so we can understand what we can and can't do in this run. When I press F5 on the keyboard, I'm able to jump to different rooms, like so. But it only shows me rooms that are kind of within this section of the game. So this first section is up to the point where you unlock the door with the lockpick after finishing the RPD. So I'm only going to see rooms before that particular room. I can also make myself invincible, change my character model. I can change my inventory to whatever items I need. And I can quickly save the game wherever I need to. Alright, so let's get to the number one question that was commented. It was asked, why did I go to the RPD to grab the lockpick? And I explained that if I go directly to that door that uses the lockpick, the game crashes. So I want to show you what that looks like. We're also going to skip stopping to talk to Brad. I learned in the run from the original video that if you don't stop and talk to Brad in the bar, the game will crash at the RPD when you first encounter Nemesis. But even before that, when I first started trying out this run with all the keys, I got to the door that uses the lockpick, and something very interesting happens. Let's light it up. Alright, so stick with me here as we run by these dogs. So if you go straight to this door and try to unlock it with the lockpick, skipping Brad at the bar, skipping the RPD entirely, this is what happens. You end up in the boutique, and you're not even in the room. You're just flipping outside of it, which is hilarious. I can't enter the boutique. I can kind of go behind the dressing rooms. And I can hear Jill running around the room. But it even says in the debug menu, like, it doesn't say that I'm in that particular room. It says that I'm in the boutique. So, my game developers out there, let me know why this happens. It seems like there's a flag that hasn't been marked by not going to the STARS office and getting the lockpick. Let's experiment with this a little bit. Like, what does it actually take to get that room unlocked and working properly? So, let's hop to the RPD and see what that looks like. All right. So, I'm going to go to the debug menu, and we're going to find the RPD STARS office. Alright, so here's the lockpick. Is that enough, or does the cutscene actually have to play with Carlos? Let's see. So RPD street is fine. And that door is unlocked now, so in theory I should be able to run in. Yes. Okay. So, you have to pick up the lockpick from the desk. The cutscene does not have to play, but the game needs to see that you picked up that lockpick in order to progress. There you go. Alright, the next question was, why did I have to go through the bit with Carlos to make the vaccine? So, here's Jill. I must take care of her as soon as possible. So I started by giving myself the vaccine. Here it is. Now, normally you can click on her with the vaccine and it'll work, or maybe we can use it. So I ran into that problem where it's like the game doesn't recognize that I need to go and find those components. So, and I also tried mixing the components as well in the inventory.
If I turn into a zombie, don't hesitate. I want your word that you'll kill me.
Jill, I got you. I have the vaccine right here. And it just doesn't recognize it. So like the lockpick, we're gonna have to go do something to tell the game, like, yo, we got the parts. So I'm wondering, can you grab just one of the vaccine components and you're good? I don't know. All right, so we got the medium. I put the other component in my inventory. We have the vaccine now. So the game is telling us that... I did not know there were hunters out here. Wow. The game's telling us, like, hey, you didn't do the 2 things that are required to move this game on. So, from what I can see, you have to complete the Carlos section in its entirety to allow the game to progress. But guess what? Maybe we don't even need to make the vaccine. Let's just say, this is cruel, but let's just say, bye, Jill. We gotta get out of here. Let's give ourselves the keys that Carlos will need. So he needs the rear gate key. He needs the... main gate key, the park key. He needs the... umbrella card. Did you see it? I didn't see it. There we go. So let's see it, man. Maybe we can just skip this. So exciting. It's funny I didn't even think of doing this until a commenter brought it up. I feel like the game's gonna crash because I can't even go into other rooms without it, like, resetting. Oh! Surprised it didn't say, like, Carlos, go focus on making the vaccine. I do wonder, though, if this basically turns you into Jill, just like when we warp around the clock tower. We're going.
Stars.
Warning. Missile attack confirmed. Warning. Missile attack confirmed.
See, that looks like Jill's animations, how she steps
Level
back.
D. All personnel evacuate immediately.
It's still hilarious. Very funny seeing Carlos with Jill's, like, stumbling animations.
Checking system. Checking data. Warning. There is not enough power to activate the system. Battery connected. Executing quick charge program. Preparing to fire.
Wait, look at Carlos' picture in the top left. It's like, am I Jill or Carlos?
System overheating. Entering cooldown mode.
We're out of here, baby. Sorry, Jill. Oh, you even heard Jill's, like, sound. That was his sound.
You want stars? I'll give you stars.
Jill! Over here!
Carlos is looking out for Carlos. Alright, so that's technically a faster sequence break than what we started with. For sure. It's just that it's a Carlos skin, but still the game treats it as Jill. That's awesome. Now for just a couple funny things or things I wanted to try, sort of outside of trying to finish the game as quick as possible. When I was learning how to make the vaccine with Carlos, I warped around the clock tower. So for example, I went outdoors where Carlos isn't able to go. And then if you go anywhere else now, it told the game that, like, oh, you're actually Jill now, but you look like Carlos. So if you go into here and try and push the bell, something funny happens. I thought it was so funny to see Carlos kick the bell. Another silly thing I wanted to try is using the crank to open that shutter where the grenade launcher rounds are outside of the bar, but super early in the game while Brad is shooting those zombies. It's weird. It'll, like, let me use it. But won't actually open the shutter. Interesting. Okay. No getting in there. Another fun one is, what if you warp to where the pharmacy is behind the fire without grabbing the hose and putting the fire out? You can see the room doesn't load. We can hear the dogs out there. But there's no camera change. The last question I want to answer is, if Jill is invincible, can she actually die from the nuke if you don't kill Nemesis? So let's see. I guess even with invincibility, Jill can't survive the nuke. Everybody, thank you for watching this little experimental video, trying to find out how we can break this game up and look at things a little different. Thank you for watching Sequence Break. I'm Starfish, and take care.